Magic. Hello and welcome back to the New Old Furry podcast. I'm Rick, and with me, as always, is the obfuscated Kitthesoulless.
I still say the worst part about that is the fact that I know what that means. Anyways, hello
Well,
everybody.
I mean, anyone can own a thesaurus and look up a great many words. I highly suggest a lot of people do it.
True. Anyways,
Well,
so
before we get started, as always, we need to go ahead and stick the disclaimer here.
right. So we don't stick a dick in it before a minor with a minor around.
I hope you could feel the face palm.
Yes. Oh, very specifically, the reason we say this is because these are not meant for kids. We do say lewd, rude, and crude things, so if you are a minor, if you are still listening, if your parents haven't heard the, let's not stick a dick in it with a minor around, and haven't chewed you out yet, please go away. These aren't meant for you.
If you are of a sensitive nature and get offended by people making crass statements and talking about lewd topics, please find yourself to a different podcast.
I mean, or better yet, might I suggest flipping on the kids version of YouTube.
That is an option to go with.
Plus, it can get really, really interesting because have you ever seen YouTube? Ooh, that was my chest. Ow. Have you ever seen YouTube Kids?
I've seen it as an option. I have never clicked on it.
Unless you want to see a show about Spider-Man knocking up Elsa, don't.
Don't think that people are following the spirit of YouTube Kids.
I don't either. I really don't. But
I'm now very
anyways.
interested how this story plays out. How did they meet? They are from clearly two different portions of the world, let alone two different timelines.
Anyways, since we are kind of edging on the topic of red things being shoved into frozen things and, just letting it go, let's get to our actual topic. We're going to be talking about holidays today. Very specifically, since it just passed, by the way, welcome to Black Friday, we're going to be starting with Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving. That wonderful holiday when friends and family gather around the table and devour the flesh of some innocent bird. How's Avia doing, by the way?
I mean, all I can say is I kind of do want to devour some part of him, but at the moment, let's not get into that. He's doing well.
That is good to hear. So, what are your thoughts on Thanksgiving there, Kit?
I actually really like this particular holiday. I really like the concept of it, very specifically. Of getting together, sharing a meal, talking about what you're thankful for, talking about things that have happened over the year, catching up with family. I don't necessarily like it in practice. One of the big reasons, though, being because the last Thanksgiving I went to, somebody decided to invite their homeless friend. We found out why he was homeless because during the event, he was caught in the bathroom doing a line of coke off of the toilet.
Couple of things here if you happen to be listening to this and find yourself in this very strange situation where you have a cocaine addiction but are going to a friend's house for Thanksgiving. Don't. I mean, I don't know how much easier I could make it than that, but if you really have to, have some class. Don't do it off of the toilet.
I mean, you could always decide to do a handstand and then do it off the drain of their fucking shower. Yes, I'm
Welcome
going
to
into the absurd.
Jackass.
Let's see if we can do a line in a shower standing on our heads from the drain. Oh, but no.
If you happen to be on the other end of this story and someone winds up doing a line of coke off of your toilet seat, Be smart about it. Don't just wipe it down and call it a day. WD-40 makes it chemically inert. Wipe it down then.
Yeah. Anyways, but no, Thanksgiving for my family has always either been a very small event, those being in the times where I'm the one cooking for the family, because for some reason people don't like the fact that I am kind of a not no nonsense, but no bullshit individual. Because if you try to do something like rip a line of coke off my toilet seat, I will escort you out of my house at the end of whatever sharp instrument I currently am holding. Uh, or it's a massive blown out affair with fuck tons of the members of my family bringing all of their weird ass friends and a lot of conversations that should not be happening around, well, really anyone, happening in full fucking view and full, uh, what's the word? In earshot of all of my family's kids.
Yeah, once again, I'd like to point out we have our little disclaimer that we generally try to throw up at the beginning of this podcast, and I know we're really bad about getting it out at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind, it's not just a matter of, oh, we're doing a podcast that is going on YouTube and there are terms and there is public decorum. There are conversations you may have with your friends in the comfort of your own home. Then there are the conversations you should have in front of kids. It's kind of like a Venn diagram.
Aunt Lucy blowing her fucking butt plug out and putting a hole in her window is not one of those.
I I feel like there's a story there.
There is.
I'm terrified.
It's also not one of my aunts. It's Lucy is a friend of the family, where my brother is concerned, who just for some reason winds up at family gatherings. It's a little weird. And again, family gatherings for my family have never been normal. And I
just
mean,
going
just going to what?
just going to go ahead and let that one lay there. I'm not going to poke that. I'm not going to poke that pond and find out what comes crawling out of that statement.
I mean, you already technically have, but turnabout's fair play, my friend. What do you think about Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is a very strange holiday to me because my family has always been very traditional with the Thanksgiving of the having the turkey and the, sides, and all the family that's within range just gets invited over, and some of the family that's out of range gets invited over. And we always have that. My father doesn't like turkey. My father has never liked turkey. I have known this for 30 years, and it seems to still be a surprise to my mother every year.
Huh.
So, but my mother loves turkey. It's I'm assuming at some point they had a conversation about this, and my father agreed to let her have turkey on uh, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and her birthday. Now, keep in mind that's only 3 days a year. If you've ever made a turkey, you understand that's not 3 days. That's 3 weeks a year where you are eating nothing but turkey.
Especially if you're the only one in the house eating it.
Uh, she was never the only one in the house. Myself, my sister, my eldest brother, we all enjoy turkey.
I was
And
usually talking about myself with that one.
well, it's fair. I mean, honestly, I don't care for the full 9-course turkey dinner at Thanksgiving. What I get down on is the leftover sandwich afterwards.
Oh god, yes. Oh, my favorite part about Thanksgiving.
It, it's so strange because the meal itself, it's the same components,
The same
but
components, it
it's
is
so much
not the
better in
same thing.
sandwich form.
My question to you, normal bread roll or Hawaiian
But
roll?
that's neither here nor there. Generally, a week before Thanksgiving, my mother starts moving things around to get the table set up, adding in the extra leaf, getting the tablecloth set up because my mother is the kind of person who every holiday has its own tablecloth and she cycles through them.
Hmm.
So the tablecloth is set out. It's very nice. And then the day of, somebody forgot to buy something. We have to find a grocery store that is open and pray to God they have the thing that was forgotten to buy.
That's just a typical issue, though. By the
It
way, was my headset cutting out when I asked my earlier question?
quite possibly. What was the earlier question?
I have to ask, when it comes to the leftover sandwiches, what type of person are you? Regular bread, roll, or Hawaiian roll?
You ask this as though I have to choose.
Perfect choice.
The
Oh,
Hawaiian rolls go first because everyone loves a Hawaiian roll. Find
oh
me
God,
someone who
yeah.
doesn't love a Hawaiian roll, I will find you the Antichrist.
I mean, true. It's
It,
bread
it,
and sugar.
that's all it is. It is bread and sugar. Everyone loves a Hawaiian roll. Standard roll after that because if you don't eat it up with the sandwich, when are you going to eat the damn things?
Yeah.
And then when you still have half a turkey after all of those rolls are gone, revert back to
Normal
regular
bread.
bread.
But yeah, no, the whole somebody needs to go to the store. Why? We forgot cranberry sauce. Or somebody needs to go to the store. Why? We don't have a knife. That's just typical Thanksgiving.
Where it is, and it's honestly, I'm fairly certain holidays exist as a means of letting out the stress of the rest of the year
Oh fuck yeah.
into one concentrated day where everything goes wrong.
I mean, I've had Thanksgivings where we wound up having pizza because somebody somehow reduced the fucking turkey to a smoldering fucking chunk of still burning charcoal.
I like the statement that you use there of still burning, meaning you're eating pizza as it is still on fire
It's still on fire because the tree out back is still on fire because somebody tried to deep fry the turkey and didn't
without
realize
making
they.
sure it was thawed.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't make sure it was thawed all the way through. It was frozen in the center. The whole thing went kablooey, and we wound up with well, let's just put it this way: font of flames about 10 feet high that decided to eat a chunk of a tree.
Enough, we have never had that issue in my house.
This is why my brother now does the the air fryer, deep fryer.
I could see that being an option, and it's I understand it. I had a friend who how did he do it? He did a strange combination where he started by smoking the turkey and then deep fried it.
Yep. My brother tried the same thing. Smoked the turkey, tried to deep fry it in an air fryer. I need to point out the turkey that we started eating was chewy.
Concerning.
We realized why it was chewy because as he's cutting into the breast, top layer was fine. It was a little chewy, but it was nice and smoky, and then he cut a little further down. The whole thing's fucking raw. Center's still frozen. How he could how he could wind up with a still frozen turkey after smoking the motherfucker for like 12 hours beyond me.
I had questions there, and I understand there are some questions to which there is no answer.
It was just one of those glorious Thanksgiving moments of what the fuck happened here? Does anyone know? Please tell me.
Uh, Call Ripley's Believe It or Not at that point.
Little bit.
I,
Also, I still very much blame Thanksgiving for a phenomenon in my life.
I'm terrified, but I have to ask, what is this phenomenon, Kit? Please inform the class.
You already know what this phenomenon is, bitch. It's the Revenge of the Turkey Dreams.
Ah. For anyone not listening, there are several things that are very interesting about Kit, not least of which is the fact that he can have dreams across multiple nights that connect.
Oh god, yeah. In fact, the first Revenge of the Turkey dream was when I was 21, and this is a weird series of dreams in which every time I have it is slightly different. It is a progression of things, because the first Revenge of the Turkey dream was I was being chased by an anthropomorphized roast turkey, uh, with the legs being legs and the severed, the neck part being, the mouth. It's the old cartoon thing. The most recent one, there is a turkey overlord, his army of potatoes and yams, which are two different members of his militia. There are the bottles of cider that are both alive and are used as cannons. Uh, it's gotten really weird. Oh yeah, the pumpkin pies are their airplanes. It's gone from essentially I'm being chased by a roast turkey to I am fighting in World War II, and the food are the Nazis. And there's the sound that I typically get Rick to make just about any time we do one of these.
It happens at least once every time. It's because generally you bring something up that I'm like, oh yeah, I tangentially know about this. And then you start talking about it. I'm like, I forgot about all of this. No, it's not that I forgot. I repressed all of this.
Dude, my dreams are really fucking weird. But then again, I also need to point out, normally my dreams are what most people would classify as nightmares. Uh, Having grown up where I grew up, I don't have the greatest of dreams anymore. So I'm fairly certain ones like the Revenge of the Turkey dreams are the ones that just get really off the wall, psychotically weird, is just my brain's way of going, you can forget that this sort of shit happened in your life, right? Let's have some fun. Let's make a cartoon. Oh, it got bad.
I feel as though we might have gotten slightly off topic here.
I mean, but nightmare fuel, what better than nightmare, or what better nightmare fuel is there than the idea of a jolly fat man in red clothing breaking into your house and leaving toys for the little ones?
Leaving bribes for the little ones. Let's
No,
be
no,
honest
no,
here.
no. Because do remember, the Coke version of Saint Nick is fine, but my favorite version of the jolly old dude in fucking red is actually a jolly old fucking. It's a jolly old demon that comes and essentially leaves snacks or goodies for the kids that are good, and drags the bad ones away to essentially beat them against rocks until they're dead.
I mean, Papa Krampus needs love too.
I know, right? Don't worry, kids. Krampus is just a story. Don't worry. Timmy down the lane, he didn't actually exist.
I'd like to point out where that kind of story probably got its, inception was most likely the fact that it's the middle of winter when food would be scarce, warmth would be scarce. The kids might have just fucking died.
Yeah. Uh, that's the weird thing too, because uh, in every culture there is a weird side to Santa. In some cultures, it's a jolly old dude who comes into your house and kidnaps you if you've been bad. Uh, the Americanized Saint Nick is more of a he'll just leave you some coal, and if you're good, he'll leave you some toys that his magical slave race created all year round for some reason.
I like the slight twist on that of it. It's not a slave race. It's literally the naughty children were dragged up there
Oh
and
God,
forced to make it.
I have a fucking series on this channel that involves that concept. And if you've ever seen it, you'll know the name Chester. For those of you in the know, I'm so sorry. because just saying that name, I guarantee you're hearing the voice now and you can't stop hearing it. For those of you who want to understand, uh, go look up the Christmas special for, I think, 2017, which was literally a 25-day stint of the Santa's Workshop video, or Santa's Workshop game for, or the Santa's Workshop DLC for escapists. Sorry, my brain decided to do a fucky wucky there. The premise on that whole special was your character was abducted by Santa as a naughty little boy when he was a little boy. Now he's an adult as an elf. And he's been trying to escape Santa's sweatshop.
That's a mildly disturbing thought process to wander down.
That's what the DLC is based on. I just created the character name. That is the entire premise of that DLC. Is Santa abducted you when you were a child because you were just so naughty that he turned you into an elf and then enslaved you. Indie games have some messed up content.
Some of them definitely do.
Oh,
It's
God,
almost
yeah.
like they do not have to worry about, big corporate overlords telling them,
A little bit.
you can or cannot say such things.
So what are your thoughts on Christmas?
In theory, once again, we're going back to theory. I really like the idea of Christmas. Being a jaded millennial in the US, I really hate it. I hate it with such a fiery passion.
I don't know when I started disliking. No, I know when I started disliking Christmas. It was the Christmas I spent at my brother's house, dealing with my nephew and my niece. My nephew has always been a thankful little boy. My niece got bored of her presents, like 10 presents in, and then started pitching a fit because she had too many presents. And then when she finally got back to opening all of them, realized that by the way, this is at 6 years old, she pitched a fit again because she didn't get the mini skirt, tube top, and high heels and makeup that she wanted. This is a 6-year-old.
This is where we're going to start getting into the what do I hate about America? Well, mostly the impression you force upon impressionable young children.
God, yeah. And no holiday does that better than Christmas.
Oh God, no. Nothing gets
Oh,
close to it.
no, there is one. There is one. Valentine's Day. And I got him to make that sound again.
We'll get to that. We will get to that.
And by the way, I apologize to anybody who notices. I'm clearing my throat a lot. I've been editing out most of these. Some of them I just can't. It is that time of year.
It's almost as though the change in the seasons is screwing with everyone's sinuses.
Pretty much. And you know me, I have bad sinuses to begin with, mostly because deviated septum.
That'll do it.
A little bit.
Now,
Anyways,
the big thing, the major thing I dislike about Christmas, other than the fact that it is riding on the coattails of Thanksgiving and trying to tell you you need to be thankful. Well, didn't we just have a holiday about this? Wait a second. The implication that you have to, you must, absolutely buy everyone in your life a gift.
I
I don't know
mean,
about you. I'm terrible at picking out a gift for anybody.
I know you and I have talked about this before, but do you remember what the original mentality behind Christmas was? And I don't mean the Christian version of this. I mean the original Christmas.
The original Christmas, the one that was celebrated in the dead of winter,
Yes.
when, once again, the kids might have just fucking died. Literally in the dead of winter, on the solstice, the shortest day of the year, you have made it through the worst of the winter. Give to your neighbors if you have things to give. Help them out, help them survive until spring because you've already made it through the roughest patch.
Yeah, it was the easiest way to sum it up is this is a holiday about I want to give you a gift, maybe a blanket or maybe some dried food because we've both survived a hellish nightmare of a season. We've survived the worst of it. I want to make sure that you survive the rest of it because I genuinely like you. It was a if you have stuff to give to the people you want to see get through this, give.
Very true. And it's the spirit of that, the spirit of giving in order to help. I can get behind that. I'm a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
What we currently have, giving because we must give, eh, no. If I get you a gift, it's because I think you could use the gift.
I mean, yeah. In my case, it's as a kid, and I got to point this out. As a kid, I absolutely hated getting socks or clothes for Christmas. Absolutely hated it because as a little kid, my brain is on, I want this. Here's a new video game I wanted to play, or here's a new thing I wanted to have. As an adult, some of my favorite gifts are, hey, somebody noticed that I've been wearing the same pair of socks for the last 3 weeks. I've had to wash them pretty much every couple days. They bought me a pack of socks. Practical gifts are, in my eyes, way more important than just, hey, I want to give you this thing that you can play with. I mean, I do appreciate the cute little gifts of, well, here's a video game or what have you. I still enjoy those. I do not I do not have the mentality of I do not like practical gifts anymore. I haven't had that mentality since actually since I became an adult. Oh,
A fair point.
I mean, I'm currently wearing a robe that was a gift. Uh, it was a gift from like almost 15 years ago, and it is the comfiest thing, and I still wear it, and it's just. By the way, for the record, for those of you who don't know, it's 3 a.m. while we're recording this.
Way to ruin the magic.
Aw, but what the hell? We're up Santa watching. Couldn't you tell? I've got my shotgun sitting next to me. When that jolly old fuck comes down the chimney, I'm gonna blast his ass.
Do you have a chimney?
No,
What I thought.
let him come through the heating vents. I've got an HVAC on my roof. It's fine. That makes Santa even creepier. You don't have a chimney. How do you? We don't have a chimney. How does he get in? He crawls through the heating vents.
I always just kind of assumed he had a lockpick and he just opened the front door.
That's even worse. Oh, magical lockpick. I shit you not. If any kid asks me now, how does Santa get in if he does, or if there's no chimney? I'm literally just gonna say magical lockpick, and just leave it at that.
If the kid's smart, he won't ask questions.
If they ask questions, my response will be, "Go ask your dad."
That's a fair statement.
I mean, most of the kids that I wind up in conversations with nowadays are nieces and nephews and children of cousins. I haven't worked as a nanny for like almost 8 years.
It just dawned on me. You said we're up Santa watching.
Yeah.
This is. It's Black Friday. How long are we going to wait?
Where the fuck do you think he gets all the... Oh, right. No, we should be at Walmart for this then.
Exactly.
Damn.
Look for the obese old man with a long white beard at Walmart at 3 a.m. That's
And
clearly Santa stocking up.
And now some poor fool who is getting ready for a part as a mall Santa that wants to look more authentic is gonna get shanked at a Walmart. By the way, on to the topic of holidays that aren't holidays. Happy Black Friday, everybody.
Holidays that aren't holiday. That's a holiday. That is a holiday celebrating capitalism, my friend.
It is a holiday celebrating capitalism, and the day after, when you're blackout drunk, it's the holiday celebrating the fact that you didn't die trying to get that flat screen.
You're not wrong.
I've been to Black Friday events. I shit you not. I literally picked up the last of a thing my first Black Friday, and some big burly fucking dude grabbed me by the shoulders, threw me across an aisle, pulled out a knife, and told me to give it to him or else.
This is why I don't go out places. Not just on Black Friday, but like ever.
Again, I didn't grow up in the greatest of places, and I wasn't gonna get stabbed for a cheap laptop.
I'm right there with you.
Nowadays, I do my black shopping on Cyber Monday, the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Monday after.
No, Monday before, technically. They started that weird little chestnut last year of Cyber Monday being the Monday before Thanksgiving. However, there are now Black Friday, quote unquote, deals the entire month of November in certain places, like Amazon.
Cough, cough, Amazon.
You do cough, cough. I'm just gonna blatantly accuse the motherfuckers.
You can accuse them all you want.
I have
It's still
proof.
true.
It's not an accusation that when I have proof.
No, it's still an accusation.
I know. I'm going with the Twitter mentality.
Oh.
What?
If we're taking into account the hell sites mindset, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, a little
Because
bit.
then we have to talk about Arbor Day, Flag Day,
National Cheese Day, International
yeah.
Butt Plug Day.
When's that one?
I think it's like December 5th. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. There is literally a holiday, either national or international, for every single solitary day of the year now.
Not surprising. People like to have something to celebrate, even if there's no real reason to celebrate it.
I mean, I like International Bacon Donut Days.
Uh,
What?
that's such an oddly specific thing.
Bacon maple donuts are fucking delicious.
I'm
Especially
not
if they
denying that.
especially if they use the really greasy bacon. It makes the maple all slimy and it feels a little bit like somebody got a little too excited. But it's sweet and salty.
We're having this conversation now, aren't we?
Nah, not really. Because, I mean, we still have to get on to other holidays. Like
Sadly.
because I really want to get back to this one, Valentine's Day. Because nothing says I love you better than a day dedicated to go out and get the most expensive rock you can get and give it to somebody, hoping that they will understand that that means you love them.
You're not supposed to do that until your, what is it, 50th or 60th wedding anniversary.
Dude, I shit you not. Watch around Valentine's Day. Every single solitary other ad, both on YouTube and on TV, is either De Beers. No, it's usually De Beers.
De Beers are one of their affiliates, yes.
Yeah, because De Beers pretty much owns the diamond trade.
Not pretty much, they straight up do.
Yeah. No, there's some outlier companies, but they are in some way tied to De Beers.
Sort of, kind of.
Even if it's the fact that they have a file in one of the corporate offices for De Beers on that company and how they can ruin them.
Generally speaking, yes.
Yep.
If any of you are curious about what we're talking about, go ahead and watch the movie Blood Diamond. It does an excellent
Oh god, yeah.
It does an excellent job of explaining what we're talking about.
Actually, I think they did a documentary recently about De Beers and the diamond trade. and the
Not
horrors
surprising.
of the diamond trade throughout history. Not quite as entertaining as Blood Diamond, though.
Well, Blood Diamond is designed to be, you know,
Graphic.
a, a, a graphic dramatization of what we're talking about here.
It's almost like it plays to the visceral part of the human psyche. And no, that wasn't my fucking microphone going weird. That was me doing a horrifying lisp.
Thank you, Thethel.
Thethel?
Thethel.
God damn it.
Look up any 1950s movie and find a character named Cecil. They always have a lisp.
Yep.
A lisp.
Oh no, but seriously though, what are your thoughts on Halloween? Or not Halloween,
Jesus, we're jumping
that
across the
that was a jump. that was a major jump because we're trying to go sort of in order.
on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, thank you.
I personally, in my humble opinion, think it's a bullshit holiday. It's if you love someone, you're going to show them affection all year long.
Mm-hmm.
If you are married to them, you have your wedding anniversary. If you're dating them, you have whatever other anniversary you want to celebrate. There's plenty of days throughout the year to show them this love.
Oh yeah.
Valentine's Day being, oh, you have to go out and do this, that, or the other. You don't have to do shit for it. The growing up, what I always saw was my dad would buy my mother a bouquet of flowers and generally a box of chocolates for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's that's all I will ever get anyone I am ever romantically engaged with for Valentine's Day is flowers and chocolate, maybe. But once
Yeah.
again, going back to the Christmas thing, I hate buying gifts. Any holiday that says I have to buy a gift, fuck you, buy me a gift.
Oh, that's another thing that weirds me out a little bit because fucking Valentine's Day cards, you give a bunch of kids a stack of cards that essentially say, "Will you be my Valentine?" Some of them even just flat out say, "I love you," and encourage all the little boys to go give these to all the girls. I legit remember when I was a teenager giving a dude a Valentine's Day card, and I got looked at and mocked. I looked at funny and mocked for like 3 weeks.
It's interesting because I know growing up in my elementary school when we actually did that crap, it was you got the cards for everyone in the class.
Yeah, that I could
That's what I
understand.
remember.
That I could understand. But that was never really what it was. At least not in my school. It was the teachers told you, get a card for everybody. That's not how it worked. Because it was, I shit you not, and it really annoys me, is the mentality of parents back then was, here's a box of 15 cards. If you come back with any, okay. Give them to all the girls that you like. This is not a thing that a child should have to think about at fucking 6. Actually, how old are you in like second grade? 6, 7?
Kindergarten would be 6 years old
Okay.
generally.
So about 7 or 8.
It
Oh, 8 or 9, because kindergarten, preschool. No, preschool would be when you're like 5.
preschool is literally pre-kindergarten, so 5 to 6 years old,
Yeah, it would
depending on.
be PK1, so about 7 or 8 years old, yeah. Personally, for me, I like the idea behind it because the way I have always seen fucking Valentine's Day is it is a day dedicated to doing a grand gesture for somebody that you love. In my case, it's not flowers, it's not chocolate. I write a poem or I do something or try to do something romantic. I don't always succeed. I have had years when I flat out just forget that it exists as a holiday, and usually those days are just, I mean, if my mate's anywhere where I can curl up with him on like on the bed or on the couch or what have you and just sit there and watch a movie and snuggle, yeah, I'll do that too. But it's not one of those. I really hate that it's become buy a diamond for the person you love because diamonds are forever.
First off, no, they aren't. Second off, they are a rock. There is nothing special about them.
Especially since most of them are synthetic nowadays.
Yeah, it's
Buy an overpriced lump of compressed carbon. They'll think you love them then.
see,
Don't.
personally, I'd be the dick, and I'd show up with one of those little tubes of graphite for mechanical pencils. It's the same chemical composition. It's just arranged differently.
Yeah. I mean,
That
realistically, buying somebody a ring with a chunk of graphite on it, that's I see that more as a this is cute and practical. And people are probably wondering, well, how the fuck is a chunk of graphite practical? What the fuck is in a pencil?
that's legitimately a free marking surface.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think we've beaten Valentine's Day pretty well.
I was gonna say we've beaten Valentine's Day to pretty much a bloody pulp. Uh, we've only
St.
got
Patrick's
about
Day?
20 minutes left. Oh no. You had to say it.
I will say flat out, as far as uh the day to go out and get drunk, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Do I
no.
believe St. Patrick's Day is a holiday? In
Yes.
Ireland, maybe.
It is, but it is a national celebration that somehow became an international celebration. This would be
Yeah.
like this would be like fucking assuming that people celebrate the American Thanksgiving in China.
For the
Actually,
record, to the
actually,
American audience listening in, Thanksgiving is a North American holiday.
no, there are other countries that do have their own variant of Thanksgiving. It is even called Thanksgiving. I'm fairly certain Canada's Thanksgiving it is like in October.
I know for a fact it's in October.
I don't know. I'd have to ask my Canadian friend.
No, I'm straight up saying it is in October. It's
Yeah. No, I'm fairly certain it is. Just I'm not certain of the date. But yeah, no. The one we're talking about is the North American November 25th. Um, fucking if you want to be a dick about it, go and say it's a celebration of people taking over a country. Go fuck yourself. Seriously.
to point out we did not bring up Columbus Day.
Well,
Thanksgiving is not the same holiday.
no, that's the thing. People don't know the history of where the actual holiday came from, and they don't realize that the actual celebration is based. I like think in the 19 oh no, not 19, like the 1890s or something, when one of our presidents went, you know what? We've just been through hell at some point. We've just gotten through a load of shit as a country. We need a holiday to help bring us together and unite us. Well, we already have a celebration where we go and blow things up in celebration. Let's have one where we force people to sit around a table and actually talk. We can base it on this moment in history where a certain group of people did something with a certain group of people. It was, inspiring for the concept of unity. Let's build a holiday around this concept.
To be fair, the actual event that people conflate with Thanksgiving of the pilgrims celebrating literally their survival of the winter. It's supposed to be in spring. Why is it in November?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. People don't get it. They just assume it's a holiday, and I really want to get off this particular topic because I don't like getting political in these podcasts or overly political, and we're on our way there. So yeah, no. One other thing I need to point out about St. Patrick's Day, thank you for bringing it up, is motherfucker. This has been a tradition of mine ever since I was old enough to buy them myself, which surprisingly I could do at a very young age. Don't assume that just because I'm not visibly wearing white, that the fucking thong or G-string I am wearing isn't green as or white. Just because I'm not visibly wearing white, don't assume the thong or G-string that I've
Green.
got. Thank you. I don't know why my brain keeps going to white. Labor Day, that's why.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that as a holiday, shall we?
Let's not. Seriously, though, assume nothing. Because more than likely, my undies are nice and neon green, bitch.
My reaction has been from a relatively young age. Someone comes up and pinches me because I'm not wearing green. I punch them.
Yeah, that's
Mostly because I just randomly got pinched for no goddamn reason.
yeah, my response ever since I was like 13 or 14, no, 14. It was when I was 14. Uh would be to hook my thumb under my at the time thong, tug it up and show them that I'm wearing green and then sock them in the ribs. Because bear this in mind, there is a rule if you pinch somebody on St. Patrick's Day, and most people don't know this. If you pinch somebody on St. Patrick's Day for not wearing green and they are wearing green,
They get to punch
they
you.
get to fucking punch you. The number of times I have floored people with a punch because they decided to pinch me and I was wearing green undies. He got the point across, though. People stopped pinching me.
I would like to point out, however, that as far as the strange holiday traditions go, St. Patrick's Day is my favorite holiday for the meal that goes with it.
Which one?
Corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes.
Oh, oh God, yes.
I am a fiend for some good corned beef. Legitimately, I will stay seated when they say dinner is served and everyone else gets up and goes and gets their plate of food because I want to make sure everyone gets some of it
Oh
before
God,
I
yeah.
show up and take half a corned beef with me to go sit down and start eating.
Dude, one of the things I love doing. Make sure that I know some people are stupid and will go, well, shredded cabbage is a thing. No. Cook the whole fucking head. Just take the leaves one by one, pull them off, make sure you don't break them, cook them properly. Boiled or steamed, I don't care. Corned beef, wrap it up in the cabbage leaf. Oh,
For those of you listening, earlier today, by sheer happenstance, I had a corned beef with my family. It was delicious. I ate a quarter of a cabbage with corned beef and a cup and a
oh,
half of potatoes.
damn.
It was
Oh,
delicious.
God damn it! I have the money for it, motherfucker. Tomorrow I have to go out before the streams and, eh, eh, yeah, get some corned beef and cabbage. Why did my brain die there? Either way, we have time for one more because we have about 10 minutes. Which one should we talk about? So, where exactly did our shit cut? Because, well, we just had a nice issue with our recording software, or rather, Discord. Again, this is a common thing. Don't worry. You probably heard just a small amount of silence in between. What was the last thing you heard, Rick?
The last thing I said was that I had enjoyed a nice corned beef cabbage and it was quite delicious.
Yeah. Uh, as I was saying, we my brain died again. So we have time for one more. We've talked about St. Patrick's Day. We've talked about Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. We've briefly touched on. Oh, we touched Valentine's Day. I don't know if I said that. We briefly touched on things like Labor Day, things that we probably don't want to touch. What is? We have time for one more. What is the next one we should talk about?
Okay, I have one quick, it's a statement. It's actually a quote that will cover another holiday that is America centric. Celebrate the birth of your nation by blowing up a small portion of it.
I mean, if you do it right, you're not blowing up a small portion of it. You're just blowing off your neighbor's fucking foot.
Or once again, attacking the poor tree in the backyard.
Oh
One of the
god
two.
damn it. I've never had the tree go up in flames, but 2019 we had our front lawn suddenly become a pit of hell. Bear in
I could see
mind,
that happening.
bear in mind, I wasn't the one lighting them off. None of the people in my family were the ones lighting them off. Our neighbors were drunk as fuck lighting them off, and somebody decided to essentially pick up a Piccolo Pete, throw it in the air, and see if it would make a funny noise as it's spinning around, and then it hit the dry grass.
Okay. End of statement on 4th of July. Moving on. There is one holiday that everyone loves. Well, I say everyone. All furries love because they spend all this money on their goddamn fursuits and they get to wear them around town for one day a year.
All Hallows Eve.
Hail Sam Hain.
I still celebrate. I love Halloween. It is legitimately my favorite holiday, but not for the reasons people would expect. Because for one, I don't typically give out candy, and I don't go around in a costume. Uh, what I will do is confuse the hell out of people when I put cookies out on my front fucking porch.
May I ask why cookies?
Yes, because the fucking they love them. Anything sweet.
Um, Halloween is another one of those holidays where there is an old tradition here
There's a very,
that is
very old
long
tradition.
forgotten.
What I do is a very, very old tradition. The belief for what I do, setting out cookies, or really anything sweet, cookies. I don't leave out candy unless it's open and loose, because kids will think, it's for Halloween. No, I will. Usually it'll be either cookies or homemade sweets. Most kids won't take those because mommy and daddy won't let me have loose candy on Halloween. Mostly because they think somebody has somehow stuffed a razor blade into that jelly bean.
Razor blade or they've put drugs in it. I'd like
That's
to go ahead and just dispel that myth. All right, anyone who believes that people are drugging kids on Halloween, drugs
a
are expensive, man.
drugs are
Fuck your
expensive.
shitty
No
little
one is
kids.
going to be giving your kids drugs on Halloween unless they have legitimately paid for them. Which, if your kid comes back home from trick or treating with drugs, ask them how much of the money in your wallet they took.
Fair question.
Um, but yeah, no, the tradition stems from a old belief, both in England and more prominently in Ireland, that there were creatures like elves and fae or fairies, and there's one night of the year where these creatures can essentially slip the veil or essentially interact with people in pretty much the majority of the world. And I hate to point this out, but fairies aren't these cute little pixies. They're not Tinkerbell. They're vicious little fucks that'll steal your kids.
If you want a more in-depth approach on this, read the original Grimm's fairy
Gah!
tales.
Oh no! Fucking Tooth Fairy. Oh,
Ugh.
thanks. I
Why
hate
is
it.
that the one you go to?
Because I'm talking about fairies, and that's one of the most notorious.
You can't talk about the gremlin that hides in your underwear?
It's not a fairy, it's a gremlin. There's a difference. The sweets are to essentially bribe the fae and let them know that you still honor the old ways and that you would rather celebrate their existence than deny them something that they enjoy.
For those of you thinking this sounds like complete and total bullshit, let's go ahead and point out, as he said, this is a tradition stemming from England and Ireland
Yep,
predominantly. However, there are echoes of it in almost every culture set around the same time every year. Look at
yep,
Dia de los Muertos. Look at there's another one, Sam Hain.
yep. Uh,
Uh,
Simply put, if you want to know more about this sort of belief, They actually explain it very well on a channel here on YouTube called Absolute History. If you think what I'm saying is absolute bullshit, go watch the episodes of Absolute History that fucking deal with old superstitions, because it is terrifying where the beliefs come from, but for the level of intelligence at the time, they fucking make sense.
It's bad luck to walk under a ladder. Yeah, because some jackass might drop a hammer on your head.
Exactly.
That's a very light way of putting it. Don't whistle in a theater. Well, that's because they didn't used to have walkie-talkies, so the riggers in the theater would use whistles to call out set changes.
Yep. I
There,
mean, black cat crossing your path. Usually, if there is something that blends in with the darkness of night and has nice shiny eyes and you see it crossing your path in the night, it's gonna be one of those, what the fuck is staring at me? Do I
well,
need to run?
it's a big thing because a black cat that is not afraid of you,
Oh, God, that too.
or worse yet, a black cat that is sprinting across your path, it has better night vision than you.
Oh, God,
What's
yeah.
it running from?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh. But yeah, no. Other than that, I absolutely love Halloween. I just love it for other reasons than a lot of people. What do you think of it?
Very, very, very long time. And it's still definitely top three. Halloween was my favorite holiday. I don't know that I have a favorite one anymore, mostly because I have become old and jaded and don't do anything for most of the holidays unless the holiday revolves around going over to my family's house and eating a meal. God, that's depressing when I say it like that.
I mean, not really. It means you celebrate the moments where you can, sit down and have a meal with your family.
But the fact of the matter is, Halloween, I don't really go out and do anything for it anymore. Not because I don't think I have any reason to, more so it's just another night of the year. It is
I
I do not believe
mean,
a holiday should have any more importance to your life than any other day of the year because keep in mind every day you're alive is a day you should be thankful.
every day you're alive is a day you should be thankful, and every day you can spend to the point of being able to fall asleep in your bed or wherever is a day that you just survived. Be happy. Um, Also, I do want to encourage, if you want to give it a try, for those of you next Halloween who decide they want to try something interesting, try leaving a cookie on your doorstep. It's interesting because it makes you wonder what came to nibble when it's gone. Anyways, this is where we're going to leave this one off. So, this has been Kit and Rick, and bye bye.
Oodles all.